So I hate the fireworks, right? Okay. As a kid, I liked going to the public displays just like everybody else. But over the years, as I've said, over the last 20 years, little bit by little bit, more and more people started doing the illegal fireworks in my neighborhood. Now, I don't understand. I just don't understand why people need to do that. And everybody's like, oh, yesterday I put into YouTube, why do people do that? What is their need? What do they want to do? And it comes up with a video where there was a news report, and at some point in the news report, the guy gave a reason. He said he talked to a psychologist, and he said it was the idea that something could go wrong. It makes people get excited. So basically, it's all adrenaline junkies. The same people who have the boom cars, which I told you, that's an adrenaline junkie thing. So it's the same kind of people who do risky behavior on purpose because they know it's risky, not because they really, really, really want to do whatever the thing is. It's the risk that they want. They want to cheat death or something. You know, people who jump out of planes and stuff like that, whatever. That kind of thrill-seeking stuff. But the idea is, to me at this point, I'm sitting here last night, I'm like, these people, it's like they're having a dance-off. Because the way they're going off, boom over here, boom over there, boom over there. And you know what I mean? It's like, to me, it's now a competition. They want to have the bigger, louder one than their neighbor or something. Or somebody, they want to have the biggest display in town. Or they want to have the most impressive one or something. You know what I mean? Just the way people back in the day, like in the 50s or whatever, would want to have the most manicured lawn. Or the nicest car on the block. This neighbor shit. You know, this keeping up with the Joneses has now moved on to fireworks because it's not just idiot people anymore. It's something to it's something people really want to do, and I'm sitting there saying to myself, I complain about money, and I think that other people don't have money, but I do not come from an area where a lot of people, even if somebody has a house, they probably have a mortgage or a second mortgage. So in terms of the homeowners in the area, I don't think they're the kind of people setting off fireworks. A, it's a waste of money. B, they don't want to damage their house. But where I live, it's homes that are owned and plus homes that are rented out, plus some public housing here or there. So you have homeowners mixed in with renters and people who come in, live here for a year and leave. Come in, live here for a year and leave. And this is the thing that's been so hard about living here and made it a nightmare, is that you don't know when it's going to change. You don't know when you're going to get new neighbors or not. But how your life is depends on who's in your neighborhood. And that changes all the damn time. And it doesn't matter what you do with your house. It doesn't matter if you have bills to pay. It doesn't matter. Those worries are there. But the way you live your life is going to depend on who moves in next door. So it's not your house, it's not your street, it's not the area in which you live, it's not the weather. These aren't the determining factors or whatever that decide if you have a nice life in your home. So much of it has to do with who moves in and out. And like I said, because it's probably 50-50 in my neighborhood right here in these couple blocks of people who own the home, live in the home, or mortgaging the home, whatever. And some of us who've been here for 30 plus years, right? Most of the people who own the homes in my neighborhood have been here for at least 20 years. Because those people across the street who are about 20 years, everybody else, and there's one lady over there who's about 10 years, everybody else has been here longer than that. You know, for like more than 20 years. And then you have the people who come in and out every year. There's a house on the corner that's really big, and it's got like, I don't know, maybe 4 apartments in it. So there's constantly people moving in and out of there. The house next door to me, it used to be when I was growing up, it was this husband and wife, and they were here before us, and they were here for a long time. Then the husband died, I don't know, let's say 2005 or something like that. And then the wife ended up selling the house to the kid, who sold it. And ever since then, whoever's lived next door has pretty much lived there for a year or 2 at best and then left. Because it's hard to be a homeowner and have a mortgage and stuff like that, even if you have a good job and you don't understand the complexities of having a home. It's just how much of a pain in the ass it is to shit with neighbors and everything else. So you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know. Like, I'm constantly trying to figure out, okay, who's this idiot this time? You know what I mean? Who's this one this time? And it's tiring. But there's something going on in the whole country, because you saw last year during the lockdown how many illegal fireworks displays there were all over the place and how they were going up. It seems like everybody's doing it, but when you really think about it, if you have, let's say, between 25 and 50 people living on a block, if 5 people are doing fireworks, that's still not most people. Okay? And I'm talking about in homes, in the whole block, if there's rental property or whatever. The whole thing, right? So, and I know from before that there's a lot of people who don't like it, don't want to hear it. Their dogs get scared. They don't want the noise. They think it's dangerous. They want to live in peace, right? But we have this. So I see this story about some hockey guy, some goalie, who died yesterday because of what they're calling a fireworks accident. Now everybody will say it's not the fireworks. Okay. He was in a jacuzzi or something. This is the story that I just read. And I don't even know if I watch hockey so little. I don't know if that's like a normal team or if it's like a, what do you call it? Like a minor league team. I don't know what you call it in hockey. I used to watch the Bruins when I was growing up, but I was never a huge hockey fan, so I would just have the games on and stuff. But anyway, this guy is, he was at a party last night or yesterday in a jacuzzi or hot tub or something like that, and somebody set off a big firework, and I guess it went the wrong way, so he tried to jump out of the way, slipped, and hit his head, and now he's dead. They're gonna say, oh, that's not fireworks. Well, fireworks are dangerous. People doing fireworks are dangerous. The person who set off the firework, depending on if they're a good person or not, they're either going to feel really bad or they're going to feel like, oh, that was just an accident. I had nothing to do with it. Okay? But this stuff didn't exist when I was growing up. People didn't do all this crap. When I grew up in this house, things were quieter. They didn't do hardly any of the summer crap that I can't stand. Nobody used to barbecue. When I was a kid growing up, a lot of people had one of those little tiny barbecue things that you would put in the trunk and take to the beach or take to the park if you wanted to have a picnic and roast weenies or whatever. But people did not have grills, did not have huge grills in their backyard. And again, within the last 20 years, this is why I hate this century when I really think about it. And it's not 9/11. 9/11 had nothing to do with it. I just think it's this century. Because all the shit I can't stand didn't exist. Most of it did not exist in 1999, or it was in the very beginnings of it. You know what I mean? So nobody used to grill. And then like one person would grill. And I would watch the weather. And instead of the weatherman telling me what was an accurate forecast for me to plan what I gotta do, he would just talk about if it was barbecue weather or not. Oh, it is a good time to go grill. Oh, get out the barbecue. Get out. He's just like saying barbecue all the time. And I was like, does this guy own stock in barbecue companies or something? Because he was constantly telling people to go barbecue. Oh, it's going to be barbecue, which meant the sun was going to be out. But you know, it wasn't go to the beach, which we're on the coast. It was barbecue, barbecue, barbecue. And they still do it sometimes. And I'm like, is that all people want to know? Can I barbecue today or not? Because when I was growing up, nobody barbecued. It just wasn't something you did around here. And even with the fireworks and stuff, to me, all that stuff was stuff I heard about people doing in the South, in Texas, and these other places where they had a different way of being. So over time, you know, when I was growing up, everybody who lived here, they lived here, and their parents lived here, and their grandparents lived here. This wasn't someplace where you got outsiders or people who moved here from somewhere else. You know, you were here because you were born here, your parents were here, stuff like that, or maybe you married somebody from here. But over time, more and more people have come from other places, and all this stuff that I can't stand, it seems like stuff from warm weather climates. I'm not a warm weather person. I don't want to be out in the hot sun. I don't want to barbecue. I don't want to do fireworks. I don't want to do any of that shit. You know? And when I was growing up, yeah, it got hot in the summertime, but we went inside. We stayed inside, and it wasn't anywhere near as hot as it is now. But, you know, we were cold weather climate people. This is New England. Yeah, you're supposed to think, okay, you don't like the weather. Wait a minute, because that means it's going to change all the time, because weather was changeable. But we weren't, oh, good, it's summertime. Let's all go do summer stuff. Nobody was like that when I was growing up. Nobody. I was like, oh, it's summer. We have, you know, school vacation and stuff like that. And then maybe people went to camp or not. Or you sat in the house. I mean, most of the time in the summertime, I stayed in the house. So did most of the people. Yes, sometimes you went out for a little bit. But it wasn't all these big activities and all this crap you had to do. You know? So it's just like, there's this mentality, and I know it comes from the TV, and I know it comes from, like I said, weathermen telling people to grill, or it comes from commercials, because so many people live their life by commercials. And those are the people that I know are the dum-dums, and those are the people who are the lemmings, the ones who follow along with everything, you know? And it's so sad to me, because I don't feel like I really come into contact with them online. The people I talk to most times in my life, or the people I went to school with, or the people I worked with at any point, you know, they weren't lemmings. So when there's all these lemmings in the world, I'm like, who are they? Where did they come from? Did they just do what everybody else is doing? Like all the people in my neighborhood who, when, you know, there's a season where everybody has a white car. Then a couple years later, everybody has a silver car. And it's like, really? That's just an accident to everybody in my neighborhood? No. The people who do what somebody else is doing, they don't have a thought of their own. The what do you call it? Monkey see, monkey do. So I should call them monkeys, right? So see somebody else doing it, they do it. Oh, they've got fireworks, I gotta have fireworks. Oh, they're grilling, I gotta grill. Oh, they got a silver car. Well, silver must be better than white. Now I gotta get rid of my silver car. They must have known something, because they used to have a white car. Now they have a silver car. So I still have a white car. I bet they're a silver one. Whatever that is, that's what's ruling our stupid world. And as time goes on and there's more and more people, I don't think the ratio between smart people and stupid people changes. But it does end up being there's way more stupid people. Now, is this person, am I calling this person who had the fireworks accident stupid? No. But setting off fireworks stupid? Yes, because it's dangerous. And I'm so sick and tired of hearing, oh no, you know, we're just celebrating America. You're not celebrating America. You're using the 4th of July as an excuse to do all the stupid shit you want to do. You want to set off fireworks, so use the 4th of July as an excuse. You do it for a month or two leading up to the 4th of July. You do it after the 4th of July. It has nothing to do. If you're setting off fireworks all year or whenever the hell you want, you're only buying them because that's when they're there. You want to set off fireworks and you use the 4th of July is an excuse. You're probably the same people who don't want to hear the national anthem at a sporting event, or, you know, want to defund the police, and you don't want people to, you know, you want people to bow and protest at an NFL game because you don't care about the flag and you don't care about the people who fought for this country, stuff like that. But you do want to set off fireworks. So when somebody says, what the hell do you want to set off fireworks with? Well, because I want to celebrate America. The lack of integrity, the lack of honesty in this world is almost worse than all the actual crimes going on. And it's just, so I'm sitting there, and all yesterday I'm reading about how, oh no, you know, that video I watched, the guy was like, well, they think, oh, if somebody gets injured, that they say to themselves, well, they weren't being careful. I'm not going to get hurt because I'm careful. I'm like, isn't that what people who do drugs say? Oh, well, I know what I'm doing. Or somebody who's an alcoholic and they say, I could quit anytime I want. Doesn't that just mean they're in denial, that they have no self-awareness? Isn't that what that is? If you think, oh no, I'll be safe, I know what I'm doing, I'm gonna they really think all the fireworks accidents and stuff are people who didn't know how to go like that and light something, I'm burning sage. Well, not sage. Palo Santo. Why? Because I went outside. I just did a whole rant about illegal fireworks and whatnot. And because I just read the story about the guy from the hockey team that got killed from complications of a fireworks mishap. And at some point I hit stop recording, so I don't know where I left off. So I'm just going to finish up my thoughts here and maybe edit it together, maybe not. Maybe I'll just put this piece. Anyway, the point is, I was saying about how I'm laying here last night and I don't like them. I don't like thunder and lightning. As a kid growing up, I was always afraid of thunder. Right? So, when boom cars came along, I don't like that kind of sound. It unsettles me. It frightens me. I don't know why. Big explosions like bombs are the same thing. They are frightening. So, for noise and stuff, maybe I'm more sensitive than other people, but I don't like them. So, I was laying here last night, and when it becomes fireworks season, it's a nightmare for me. You know, anyway, so last night I'm sitting here and the way they're going off, there, and I've been going through this whole pandemic, this whole lockdown, thinking, you know, about how things were, the state of the world, money and everything else. I thought a lot of people, not just me, everything's starting to seem like it was just me now, didn't have a lot of money. And last year during the pandemic, when I wanted to see if the fireworks were still coming from China, when we were all locked down and we couldn't get, you know, protective equipment for hospital workers from China. I wanted to see if fireworks were still coming from China. So, I was walking around the block at one point and there was a leftover box of the fireworks and I wanted to see if it said from China on the box. So I walked up to the box and it was a big box. And it said it was from China, but it also said the price tag was on it. And it said $30. So this is one of the big ones, right? Okay. Last night I'm sitting there and I'm saying to myself, okay, I don't have money for necessities. I don't have money to pay bills. I know I've always been weird with money and like I'm allergic to it, but I did think I do not live in a rich neighborhood. I live in places where there are a lot of people on some kind of assistance, you know what I mean? Some people have jobs where they, you know, I don't know, they're doctor's assistants or they, you know, work as day laborers or, you know, things like that. And I'm just sitting there, laying there thinking, and I'm the number of boom, 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 from all areas, multiple sounds coming from multiple places. And I said, just for the hell of it, let's say when I'm listening to, and I'm talking about big stuff, I'm not talking about a pop here and there, I'm talking about big stuff. I said, let's say, on average, these things cost $20, because the one I saw last year was $30. I'm saying to myself, I must have just heard $20,000. Because these people, they started well before 8 o'clock, well before it was dark, and it didn't let up until about midnight. I was able to fall asleep. 2:30 in the morning, it starts again. You know, and I don't care if people talk about danger and they try to explain why it's wonderful. You're disturbing people. You're making your whole neighborhood have to listen to your noise. I feel the same way with boom cars and stuff like that. You know, anybody, if somebody wants to go in their house and quietly shoot heroin, go right ahead. You know what I mean? You want to go in your house and quietly shoot your person who I don't know and you people have nothing to do with, go ahead. You know what I mean? You want to quietly go and sit there and launder money? Go ahead. But don't do anything that's going to affect my life. Don't do things, because then it's my problem. If you're making loud noise and I'm in my house with the doors and windows closed and I can't do what I gotta do because I cannot not hear your noise, now you're causing me a problem. Okay? If let's say somebody is, secondhand smoke. If you're smoking outside and you're trying to not blow the shit in my face, go ahead. I'm allergic to cigarette smoke. But if you're standing there smoking in my face when there's plenty of room to not be, then you're being obnoxious and a jerk. And a lot of this is obnoxious and a jerk. But with the money, I'm just sitting there going, now that, over the course of the last couple of weeks and stuff like that, it had to be way more than $20,000 that I heard in this neighborhood, in a depressed area, of just these bombs going off. And I'm like, okay, so all that stuff is Chinese. And when I was growing up, this neighborhood, it wasn't rich. We didn't have money, but it was peaceful. It's not peaceful with this shit. And I was like, well, China has avoided bombing us. They don't have to. We still live as if we're being shell-shocked, if you're the kind of person who doesn't like it, because our fellow Americans are bombing our neighborhood all night long and trying to make that money. And they didn't get us to do it for free. We paid them to bomb our country and make people feel like they're growing up in a war zone, or they're living in a war zone. And there are people now, like I said, they're 20 years old. They grew up in this war zone. They grew up like they're in a country that's being bombed all the time. That's why these people do not celebrate in America. Don't tell me you celebrate in America, because like I said, you will be, I guarantee you, at least half the people who are doing this shit and supposedly celebrating America with bombs bursting in air. The bombs bursting in air because we were fighting somebody back in the day. Not to disturb our fellow Americans and not let them live a quiet, peaceful life. Bombs bursting in air. You don't want to hear that national anthem at a sporting event. Half of the people doing this shit are that type who want people to kneel. They don't want to see the flag. They want to defund the police. But they're going to be doing the fireworks. And then when you say something, oh, we're celebrating America. I'm celebrating Independence Day. Meanwhile, they were doing it 3 weeks ago, which was not Independence Day. If they ran out because they used them all last night, they're going to go get some more. It's not about celebrating independence. It's about being loud and obnoxious, exploding things for some unknown reason. I don't know why people want to explode things. It is dangerous, but besides that, it makes where you live a shitty place to live. Because there's never peace and quiet. You can't sit there and meditate. You can't sit there and become an enlightened human being. You can't become smarter. You know what? If you watch something, they're doing a news report on little kids trying to do their schoolwork in a war zone. They have to try to do their math with bombs going off in the back. Yeah, maybe you understand that it's not actual bombs when it's fireworks, but it's not peace. It's not an environment where you can better yourself and use your mind. Here comes a boom car. Anyway, I don't understand this stuff. Those are the times where I sit there and I'm like, why am I still here? Why am I still here? Not why am I still here in this location? Why am I still here on this planet? Because I know it's not just my town. I know it's not just my state. I know it's not just my country. I know at this point, if I thought that I could pack my bags and move to a place on this earth right now where people aren't going to be the way that I am so sick of. If I thought there was a peaceful place, if I thought there was a place where people weren't loud and obnoxious with boom cars and fireworks and people weren't always trying to cancel everybody else, I would move there. But that's the thing. That's the thing. All this stuff that's happening, it's happening everywhere. It's spread everywhere. So it's not like red states and blue states, because that was the thing about the United States. There are all these different states with different laws. So if you didn't like the laws where you were, you could move somewhere else and go there and let the people who like it there or have the law there live that way. You know, that was the point, because it's one country with different states. But the people who are always fighting for this and fighting for that, it's like they want everything to be uniform in every state, in the whole country. What's the point of having states then? You know? So, in Massachusetts, it's supposed to be illegal to have fireworks because it's dangerous. But like I said, growing up, nobody did them anyway. Nobody wanted it. People had other stuff to do. Maybe it's because people were poorer in a way, but happier and just doing day-to-day life and being peaceful and quiet. Like I said, watch an old story, watch an old TV show, or watch something that's set in the 80s or something. See how much more peaceful it is without the constant barbecuing, without the cell phones, without the fireworks, without the constant being on social media and telling people what they can and can't say. Look at how much watch any Stranger Things or anything that is set in the 80s or is from the 80s, and just look at how much peacefuler life was. Look at how little people were running around, less hectic. People, you know, got up, went to work, came home, had money to pay their bills. They'd have to constantly charge things. You know what I mean? Not in constant competition for everyone just to have enough money to survive. Like I said, I don't know where all that money came from. That's what I was thinking. Where did all the money come from for all this useless bombing of the United States on behalf of the Chinese manufacturers of this shit? Where did all that money come from? That people have all this money, and like I said, last time I checked, was still a depressed area. It's not a lot of jobs. There's not a lot of stuff for people here. Where did all that money come from to buy that shit? This must have been $20,000 last night, plus whatever else went for the rest of the time. This is leading up. Thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, right? And then maybe, you know, when the kids got to go back to school, they will say, oh, they need backpacks and pens, and they don't have any pens and paper. Because I did 2 sections, I'm going to edit this together. Or not. And we'll see what happens. Or maybe I won't post it at all, because I am sick of hearing myself. But I want to know where that money came from.